So I had a mom message me about her dancing and her diastasis that she has. Now, all of us moms get it. It's that gap that happens, and how long it takes to close kind of depends on the person. Now, as a teacher, as a dancer, we're sort of eager, like, okay, how can we get back to our dancing safely? And so I want to share with you my personal experience with my pelvic floor therapy that I did after my second birth and all the exercises that I was taught to do. Now, keep in mind, I am not a medical health professional. I can only share with you what I personally went through, but everyone's journey is different, and I really recommend looking into your own insurance and trying to get your own pelvic floor therapy. Now, one quick note about health insurance. I belong to a cost-sharing service called Liberty HealthShare, so it's a little bit different than health insurance. Now, I know that when I had traditional health insurance, it had a really high deductible, and it was really difficult for me to get approved on things like this. Unless you have some major health issue going on, they're pretty much like, no, we're not going to help you out. So with Liberty, I was able to get about 10 to 12 sessions shared into or covered with my postpartum care, kind of as my postpartum care package. So I highly recommend them. I will link to some blogs about my experience below. All right, so before I get into the specific exercises, I want to talk a little bit about a belly band. So if you have just given birth or you're about to give birth, in the first few weeks, I was told by my midwife to have a belly band or the strap. It's kind of like a back brace. You can get them off Amazon. You can also wrap, like if you have a wrap carrier or even a long sheet. For example, we actually used, I believe, our fitted sheet because I had a home birth, and we cut it up, the clean part, and we used that to wrap my belly at first until I bought myself a band. I do recommend getting the band. It was a lot nicer to kind of get on and off. Now, I think my midwife knew as a dancer that I wasn't really gonna be staying in bed as long as I'm supposed to, that I was eager to get up and get moving, and so she really, I think, pushed me specifically to do it. Say hi, Bodri. I got a sick baby on my back. And so I really recommend the band, at least for the first few weeks or until you feel comfortable. It's supposed to help support you if you are going to be more active than you should. She said when I'm lying in bed, I don't really need to have it. But again, talk to your midwife, talk to your doctor, kind of find out what works for you. All right, so let's get into the exercises. Before I show you the actual exercises, I want to talk about the Kegel. For me, before I went to pelvic floor therapy, I thought the Kegel just meant squeezing and releasing. Now, in my terms, TMI, but I'm actually prone my yoni to be excessively tight. So I've always been like, Kegels are not for me. Like, I really don't, I'm good on that front. And so what I learned is actually it's quite different than what we think about just squeezing and releasing. So Kegels are really important. Everyone should be doing them, but how to do them is very important as well. So when doing the Kegel, you want to think about not just squeezing, but you want to think if like your canal in there, if you want to think about closing in and lifting, holding at the top, and now even just equally as important, releasing down and fully letting out. It's kind of like actively, they don't like to use the word pushing, but it's kind of like, it is a little bit like pushing as if you were to guide, like gently guide if you were like to go to the bathroom, whatnot. So you want to gently kind of push out and widen as much as you can. And then you want to think about closing in and up, holding and down and releasing out. So you're actively kind of contracting in and up and lifting, and then you're actively releasing out. You have to do that as well because you need to be practicing releasing and expanding as equally as closing in. Now, as I show you these exercises, you want to think that we're going to be doing the Kegel with every exercise. And now that I understand the importance of Kegels and how much of an impact it made on my core strength, just as a dancer, not even as like a postpartum mom situation, I use Kegels all the time when I'm being active, when I'm getting up off the floor. It's like the ultimate inner stability strength. I used to always think about just engaging the tummy muscles, but really you want to engage all the way up in there. So we're going to be using those Kegels moving forward. A couple of notes about pelvic floor therapy. One, you might find that you feel like it's super easy, especially if you're a dancer or active person. I remember at first being like, is this really going to do much? Like these sessions cost a lot of money, even though it didn't cost me a lot of money, but you know, I just felt like I could just go do exercise. I could just go dance and get fit again. But they target very specific inner core strength muscles in a very specific way that I found that after doing them for a while, picking up my baby and getting off the floor, I wasn't stronger muscularly. I just felt so stable. So I think stability is different than strength, because I noticed once I stopped doing it, even though I was being more active and I was getting stronger as a dancer and moving my body, I found myself having a lot of loss of stability. So even just simple movements of getting off the floor was difficult, even though I was supposedly working out more. So really, even though it feels simple, don't push yourself. Go through the motion the way it properly should be, with slow, steady movement and whatnot. Another thing that I learned that I found fascinating about pelvic floor therapy, and I spoke to my therapist about this, I was like, you're spending more time actually releasing and stretching out muscle more than even building strength. You always think, okay, you give birth and then all of a sudden you start peeing your pants all the time and you just need to build a stronger yoni. When really they spend most of the time working through scar tissue manually, or they teach me with some pelvic floor stretches. So in addition to strength training, I was instructed to, in the shower, every time in the shower, for let's say 1 minute every time at the end of the shower, when you've taken a hot water, it's kind of running on your body, stick your thumbs into your fingers in and just stretch it open. And your yoni should be soft and stretched out just like every other muscle in the body. And I think we take our yoni for granted. We just think like it's this thing down there, but you actually need to care for it just like you do every other part of your body. And so if you find that you're actually prone to muscle tension a lot, you kind of hold tension, that's how you are normally, you're always struggling with that, you probably have the same issue down there. So you're going to need to be actually stretching postpartum. It's just like the stretches you maybe were instructed to do leading up to your birth if you were trying to kind of get your yoni ready to expand for birth. Same thing. The trauma kind of happens down there as the baby moves through, and you got to re-stretch that scar tissue out using massages. You can use oils or in the shower while you do it. And again, going back to the Kegel with that expansion. So really think about equally massaging and stretching and relaxing just as much as you need to be building the strength down there. All right, so without further ado, let's get into some of the stretches that I was told to do. Okay, so utilizing the Kegel, I'm doing some belly lifts here, holding for 3 seconds at the top and then releasing out. Now, utilizing those butt muscles, I think we've all done this in a workout class before, but now we're adding a Kegel to it, which is adding more difficulty, and take your time. Here, I'm actually doing a Kegel, and at the top I'm going shh. This is to help with the whole I pee my pants situation. You can do 10 of those. I'm postpartum, by the way. That's why I'm a little skinnier. All right, now this one is the hardest one and the main one. So I'm actually tilting my knee out while you can see I'm having my hands on my belly, because there can be no movement of the lower body, the core right there. So you're utilizing the hands to feel if there's any movement. You want to keep that Kegel and that lower core engaged. And the point is utilizing the lower abs and not the upper abs to do this. Now, this is a more difficult version. I actually still can't do this one very well without there being movement or shaking involved. So this one, you're lifting up and then down. Now, all of these are typically about 10 reps, like let's say 3 times. All right, now here's a stretch for you. Happy baby, y'all. This is great for stretching the inner kind of groin and hip area. Next one's going to be, I believe, pigeon. Now, when I did this in the therapy session, they had me do it standing up on one of their tables, but this one is just kind of another option for you as well. Here we go. I'm about to do what typically would, if you have an exercise band, you want to wrap this around your ankles. Now, again, holding the Kegel when you do this adds another level of difficulty. So playing with increasing how tight the band is. This one I was actually introduced to when I was pregnant, so it's safe to do when you're pregnant, at least in the early stages of when you're pregnant, for building core strength in a gentle way, and again, using it postpartum, utilizing that Kegel, putting the arm and the leg out and back. Now, here we go, squats, y'all. Now, if you're ready for it, I really recommend adding weights to this. A lot of gyms now have those bars you can use. But squats are going to be your best friend for most, I would say, health issues. Okay, so now here we are. This is one I did in the office with a yoga ball. So again, holding that Kegel and doing your squat there, and then releasing out, making sure to always release the Kegel every time. All right, mamas, I hope that helps, and good luck in your healing process. It is not easy, and you're going to be dancing in no time. Just stick with them, even past beyond when you think that you're ready to stop doing them. Keep doing them. I think they're great even when I don't have my diastasis anymore and I just want to build better core strength. Just keep going. Congratulations on the new baby, and take care. Bye.